Hey, what's going on? It's JJ. It's the Hayes Wire, and I am lucky enough to be joined by a woman who embodies kind of what I always talk about when I talk to people about just passion and loving what you do. Sally Lou Loveman. Sally Lou, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks, JJ.
I got to tell you,
glad to be here.
It is a treat to have you this morning, and I want to talk about why you're here in Wichita.
Okay.
But first, I want to talk more about you.
Okay, sure.
30-year career in television that kind of started with a clipboard.
Yes, you've been on my site.
No, I have not. Tell me how this, you discovered very early in life your passion.
I did.
How did that happen?
I did. I was 14. My mom got tickets to the Mike Douglas show, which many of your listeners will not know what that is, but it was one of the first television talk shows, and it was filmed in my hometown of Philadelphia, and we went. She still has no idea how she got the tickets. I certainly don't know. But I was 14, and as I sat in the studio audience, I spotted a girl on the side of the set. I can still picture her with a clipboard.
Yeah.
She also had a headset on. She looked really busy. She was a woman. It was 1976.
Okay.
And I knew in that moment, I'm like, I want to do what she does. So that was, I was, 15, 16, 17. By the time I was 17, I got an internship right there at that same station. In radio. I started in radio.
Good for you. It's a great place to start.
Yeah, at KYW News Radio, Philadelphia. And I did really well there for some reason. And that was it. I'm like, I want to be, it was the same building as Mike Douglas. And then I went to school and studied and did a lot of internships. And then, got a dream chance to be a production assistant at a great station in Chicago. And it was the same year Oprah moved to Chicago. And so the world aligned and the stars and everything. And then voila, I got to work for Oprah.
You hear people say you're in the right place at the right time, but I think you also have to seize those opportunities. You have to be able to recognize those opportunities and be courageous and be able to go after them. Lucky for you, you weren't watching like The Love Boat, because Julie had a clipboard too, and you could have wanted to work on cruise ships your whole...
Okay, ready? I'm not terrified of speaking in public and the dentist. I've had a lot of dental work in the last 2 years. I don't even want to talk about it.
But I don't like dental work.
Okay, but I'm terrified of everything else. And
Really?
Open water is one of my most feared things.
Okay.
So I would not be Julie on the Love Boat.
Okay, fair enough. Now, let's talk about fear.
Okay.
Because I refer a book to people all the time by Napoleon Hill. And it is called Outwitting the Devil. And it's basically one of these books about Andrew Carnegie's life, and it's about how fear and doubt can be career killers.
Absolutely.
How does fear play in the role in your mind as far as defeating someone when they're looking to find their passion and what they're passionate about?
Well, I think you're right. Fear kills creativity. It completely kills collaboration. Entrepreneurship. Every entrepreneur is terrified, but they won't, tell you about that. I'm terrified all the time. But at the same time, if you give in to fear, you're done. Yep. So what are you going to do? What's your choice? I worked for the best television show in the history of television with the greatest team in television and the greatest boss. And we were taught that no is not an option. Right. We did everything. To the point where it built our confidence. We knew we could do it. Of course, it takes a team, but every time I go out on a stage, because now I'm just myself. I don't have a team. It's me. Right. But when I go out on a stage, or I take, a moment that's sort of out of the box, and it's like, ooh, am I going to be nervous about this? I immediately go back to my moments at the show when I thought this will never happen, and it did. And you just have to, it's a mindset. You have to go, I'm going to do it. And when I talk to kids who are, young professionals growing up, and they're like, I don't know what I want to do, and I'm scared. And more so, women trying to re-enter the workforce who are like, I haven't worked in 20 years. I'm a lawyer. I'm a, accountant. I'm a this, I'm a that. And they have all this education and training. But how do you get back in there and say, I'm worth hiring, or I'm worth doing? And you just have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your dream. You have to really know what you're good at. Right. And I believe that everyone has a very special talent. For me, I'm terrible at math, I'm horrible at geography, but I'm really good at connecting with people and talking to people. And so I harness that tiny little talent, and how do I make that a business? Right. And that's what I'm trying to do with Love Speaks. So I'm also trying to talk with my fake teeth. Really good for a speaker.
We need Vaseline on the teeth.
So that I'm really working on my S's, and I have to say the word hearts
Okay.
a lot tonight.
Yep.
In 2017, I'm getting my new teeth, but now I have to say the word hearts.
Okay.
Do you know how hard that is?
It must be difficult.
It's hard.
Okay.
Anyway.
You mentioned no is not an option with Oprah.
No. Well, I don't mean that with Oprah, but no is not an option in television.
But-
It's like it's like we were trained to do it. Like
Right.
we're going to do it. We can do anything. And we moved mountains. And there was luck, there was timing, but there was talent.
Well, let's talk about maybe if you can put your finger on it on a short list. Best piece of advice Oprah may have given you.
Oh, God. Well,
Is it?
she taught me gratitude and forgiveness.
Okay.
I
See.
mean,
I hear humility a lot from some people I talk to. Humility is another good one. But
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
She's the most normal human being you could ever meet, who happens to be a great philanthropist,
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Oprah's doing all right for herself
She's doing
and really
great.
doing all right for other people
I
too.
love her
Yes.
with all my heart.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
want
But honestly, gratitude,
Mhm.
faith, and forgiveness.
Okay. Lovespeaks.tv is your website.
Yes.
Love Speaks. How, more importantly,
Okay.
why should love speak?
So when love speaks to you, you do it.
Yep.
Whether it's your career, your relationship, what you want to do in a day, how you want to see your life, play out. And like I said earlier, I believe that when you do what you love, there is an enormous health benefit.
Mhm.
A life benefit, and there's so many people who are out there, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's a luxury to do what you love because it doesn't always pay the bills. So I believe that when you can recognize your talent, and I always like to say, rely on your senses.
Mhm.
For me, and I'm sure you could say the same thing. When I'm in a TV studio, all 5 of them, and I'm not in a TV studio anymore, but for 30 years I was, and I wasn't obviously at Oprah for 30 years. I worked at different places, but when I'm in a TV studio, it started at the Mike Douglas show. All of my 5 senses
Mhm.
are like happy. Like
Yeah.
I smell, I feel, I touch. Well, feel and touch is the same, but whatever. You know what I'm saying.
I understand.
And I get sucked in, and I'm like, that's when I know I'm in the right place.
Right.
So if a radio station is the right place for you, or whatever it is, it could be a restaurant, a bank, or whatever. But when the environment sucks you in and it pleases you, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
And you're going to love it, and it's never going to feel like a day's work. And if you have the talent that's suited for that environment, then bingo,
Yep.
you're good. Like, did you always know you wanted to be in radio?
I was a commercial fisherman.
Oh, wow.
In
You
southern
love the
Maine.
smell of fish?
I do. I love being.
I love Maine.
Oh, Maine
This
is
is the
fantastic.
first year in 14 years we haven't gone to Maine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know. The way life should be.
I miss it. Exactly, yes.
Hashtag.
Vacation land and all. The American Heart Association, Go Red for Women tonight. Doubletree
Yes.
over at the airport.
Yes.
Every time I say Doubletree, I start thinking of those
The
warm
cookies.
chocolate. Yes!
The cookies.
So I'm not the only one.
No,
Oh.
it's the little things that matter.
You are not kidding. I might just come by and grab a cookie and
I haven't
run.
had one yet.
Oh, they're fantastic.
I
Anyway,
haven't had one yet.
enough about the cookies.
Yeah.
The Go Red for Women tonight. There is lots going on. We've donated stuff for the personality silent auction.
Thank you.
There's absolutely Blake Shelton tickets.
Ooh.
I know. Couldn't get a hold of Blake to donate him, so
Right.
tickets are the next best thing.
Right.
But there
he's
are,
a little tied up.
He's a bit busy.
Yeah.
There are vendors. There are going to be guest speakers such as yourself. Why the Go Red for Women night? Why are you here?
Well, I love the color red.
Yes.
I'm a heart patient.
Okay.
So those two things kind of go together. What's really interesting, and this kind of goes back to your moment in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Chicago because I live in Chicago. My doctor, Annabelle Volkman, her involvement in Go Red is pretty big, so we talk about it all the time. And I had lunch one day with one of her, the people that are on the staff there, and she invited me to be a part of the luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Have you ever done an appeal?" I said, "No. What is that? What is an appeal?" So basically, she invited me to do the Open Your Heart appeal in Chicago,
Okay.
a very big market. 500 women in the room at Macy's. And so all I know is I'm really good with an audience and a microphone.
Right.
But what's an appeal? So she explains, this is when we ask the room to give. It's the most important part. It's, we've heard the survivor story. Everybody is there for a reason. And we just need someone to lead that.
Right.
And so I said, sure, I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll try. Fear, don't give into it, right? So I'm like, no fear, I'm going to try it. And and all of a sudden I'm standing up there and I'm watching. It happened in Detroit later. I'm hoping it's going to happen tonight in Wichita. The whole audience, it felt like the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Right.
People were hugging, people were holding on to each other, people were crying, people were writing checks.
And there's the important thing.
And like 100% of the room gave.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. 71% of the room gave.
Okay.
I stand corrected. But in Detroit, 100% gave.
Wow.
So when that first happened, I went, oh, there's something here.
Right.
There's something there.
Right.
So then the lovely people at Go Red for Women contacted me. And so I've been doing a little Midwest tour.
Nice. Good.
Love Speaks in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And but it's really important to me because I'm a heart patient.
Okay.
I have a high lipoprotein A number,
Okay.
which is another lipid, and it's not your LDL, it's not your HDL, but it is really good at laying down plaque in your arteries.
Okay.
And it's genetic. There's not one thing I can do about it in terms of diet and exercise, but of course if I didn't pay attention to diet and exercise, I'd be in real trouble.
Right.
But I cannot get these numbers down, and it scares me because I have heart pain. I had it last night in the middle of the night in Wichita, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but I know our sponsor is right around the corner, and I know they'll treat me well
Yep.
because they'll want me back on the
Exactly,
stage.
exactly.
These crazy thoughts,
Sure.
but I think it's no mistake that I'm suddenly doing work that I love for what I'm good at and talented at, but that's serving others who are going through maybe what I'm going through. So it makes sense.
There's lots to learn tonight at the Go Red for Women event. Lots of ways to not only find out what your passion is by listening to you talk, but finding ways to maybe reinvent yourself.
Oh,
Finding
that too.
ways to stay healthy, finding things you may not have thought of. You may be living a somewhat healthy lifestyle now, but there are things out there you may not recognize, and that's what we're going to talk about
Well,
tonight.
we were rehearsing yesterday, and there's about 14 women from the Better You Challenge, and their attitude on the stage, and I mean, I've just lost some weight too, so I know what it's like when you prove to yourself that you can be healthy, that you can make choices, that you can lose weight
Yes.
and feel good.
Yep.
Talk about confidence.
The confidence and the compliments you get afterwards.
The compliments, right? And you don't want to mess up
Right.
because, hey, you're getting some attention, you feel good, and you're going to live a little bit longer.
Yep.
How about that?
And all that is important and adds
Yeah.
to the happiness we've been talking
Yeah.
about. So in closing, there's a woman right now watching this video, and she's not necessarily considering going. She's not sure if she wants to go. She's kind of dragging her feet. Maybe, on the line. How do you convince her? What do you say to her?
It's a community.
Okay.
It's such a community, and there's like, I hope I'm right, but like 900,000 women who are part of the Go Red movement. Ever they've logged on, they've been on the site, whatever it is, and they've taken the heart check that's there, and they've discovered their own risk. You have no idea. You have no idea if you're at risk, and if you do know you're at risk, even more of a reason to be there and be a part of this community, because there's nothing stronger than the power of women's voices. I mean, please, we can do anything.
You will
just
get
like we were
no
taught at
argument
Oprah.
from me. You will
Right?
get no argument
JJ?
from me. Absolutely. I'm on board with that. All right, so it's tonight, Doubletree,
Please come.
place for the warm cookies right by the airport, but more importantly, Go Red for Women tonight starts at 4, goes until 7:30,
Yes.
I believe, but who knows, it may go a little longer if we decide to hang out and chat a little bit. But,
That'd be fun.
Sally Lou Loveman.
Am I going to see you there?
You will not see me there.
Okay. All right.
But
I'm glad you're in your red today.
I'm in my red today. I was handing out hugs last night downtown, so we've been very busy running
Awesome.
around here. So.
It's 102.
Yes.
It's going to be 102 at 4 o'clock, which is why I got a blow dry, and I'm just telling everyone to stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.
Stay
Wichita.
hydrated and enjoy some of that free air conditioning over at the Doubletree and get to Go Red for Women tonight. Sally Lou, thank you. It's JJ Hayes on 101.3, today's KFDI.